Hey everyone. I apologize for the not great audio. I'm not in my typical studio where I am at home. Actually, today I'm on campus at Stephen F. Austin State University, just sitting in a classroom. And I wanted to do a follow-up video of a video I made back in June of 2020 entitled How I Begin Writing a New Choral Piece. And as part of that piece, I wanted to let you in on the process of writing a composition. Fast forward to now, the composition has been completed and will actually be performed by the Stephen F. Austin State University Chamber Singers under the direction of Dr. Michael Murphy this fall. With it being done, I wanted to let you in on some of the challenges that I had of this composition. This experience that I had, the inspiration behind this piece was such a unique and emotional experience for me that I knew that the poetry needed to be something fresh. I knew I wanted it to be 3 stanzas. I knew that I wanted the words to not get in the way of the simplicity of the musical language. I wrote out the timeline of when I wanted certain things to be revealed about the poem. I just made it a long list of descriptors and wound up just putting those together and kind of based the natural flow of the poetry of each stanza to how I felt the melody happening, and if I wanted something to be slurred or if I was okay with it being multiple syllables long. I knew that I wanted the composition to be warm, and with that, I knew that also I didn't want necessarily extreme registers happening within the choral lines too soon. It needed to have a floating quality to it, a dance quality to it, and I didn't want it to be harsh. So it goes anywhere from here to here. And that can be quite the awkward range for any one vocal part. And so I was automatically faced with the idea that I needed to break the melody between the different voice parts that needed to pass off from one another seamlessly and obvious enough that people could follow the melody. I felt that by passing the melody around, it kept the parts interesting enough. Certain parts maybe are a little boring initially, but I thought it was just really essential to present the thematic material clearly in the opening, because in the second stanza, where things kind of shift poetically, I knew that there had to be more motion there and that my memories needed to come alive essentially. Most of the compositions I write, melody comes first for me. However, with this composition, melody and a chord structure kind of came with me. I knew that the whole thing, that parts of it were based off of the chromatic mediant, for example, that first chord of, it's just jumping a minor third away to the chromatic mediant of G major, and then going to the 4 chord in E major, and then back to E. It was super easy to get caught in that chord progression as I went. And I really liked the idea of having these oohing sections in between as like this reflective type of moment. But then when I got to the second stanza, it was already boring to me. And I was like, what do I do? It was challenging, but I figured, okay, I need a key signature to have, a key change to happen here, or a tonal shift to happen. Because the idea of me being in the moment and observing something in front of me, and then me in the second stanza thinking more inward and about my own memories, I knew that I wanted to bring those memories to life, and I wanted to go to something new and fresh. So to help get that idea across, I decided to stick with that idea of chromatic medians. Right away in the beginning of the second stanza, you have this type of idea happening here. So you have the E major chord, and it still goes to the chromatic mediant. However, I then jump to the chromatic mediant of G, so B flat. I treat this chord as what the 4 chord was before and resolve back to the G. So I go from the 4 chord back to the G now. And now we're in a new key. And that concept took forever for me to realize. And it's funny, like you work so long to figure out something so simple, and oftentimes all you have to do is look at what you were already doing and then use it again, but in a new way. So in this instance, using the idea of the chromatic medians to change keys or tonal centers was just so simple. And now all of a sudden we are in a new key, and the ranges are much higher, and it shines a bit more. And I really liked the idea of that being one of the climaxes of the entire piece. So that was a moment I was really proud of in the end of this composition. As I mentioned before, in the first stanza, I wanted some motion, but in the end, I wanted it to be floaty. I didn't want it to be too boring, though, for the people to sing, but I thought it was harmonically interesting. Well, getting the second stanza, I knew that they couldn't do the exact same thing because that is boring. So with this stanza, I added inversions and passing tones in order to create motion in the lines. And by using inversions, it allows other parts to then jump to other notes as well, while keeping the same harmonic structure of the chord that I was looking for. I really hope that this lets you a little bit more in on the process of writing music. There's obviously a bunch of avenues that someone could go in writing a composition, and this is one of so many. And just because I did something a certain way doesn't mean that it'll work in every single situation or for every single person. But I really just wanted to let you in on the process of what I go through in writing a piece and how long writing a piece sometimes takes for me to do. Thank you for listening. It's been a while since I posted here. I apologize once again for the bad audio. If you're new here, I ask, consider subscribing, dropping a like on this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think of it. And I look forward to sharing with you the recording down the road. Bye, everybody.